Well, good morning, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Swiss Gold Global Independent Business Owner Network Marketing Training number 30. Yeah, wow, 30 we've got already. Sorry about the location here, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see me very well or what the situation is, but I just left the hospital, had to get a ultrasound test done, and you know, got to do what you got to do. So here I am sitting in the car in front of the pharmacy, waiting to pick up my juices to cleanse before the colonoscopy test next week. So yeah, lots of fun, lots of fun. Um, so anyway, this morning Jeff gave us a little reminder about the number one cause that prevents people from, being successful, and obviously that is the fear of failure. And we were talking about, how 80%, maybe even 85% of the people out there, will do everything in their power to avoid failure or to avoid hearing the word no, and they go through their whole life based, everything that they do is based around not putting themselves in a position to fail or not putting themselves in a position to hear the word no. And in actuality, if you are going to have any success at anything whatsoever, you have to understand that failure and the word no is an absolute part of what you are going to be having to go through each and every day of your business. I mean, it's just part of it. And when you come to the terms to realize that the more you fail, the more you succeed, that's when you can make a transition over into from somebody who is stepping out of their comfort zone and getting into the place where they want to be as far as becoming successful in their business, in their life, in everything. And so, are you there, John, or is this just your picture? Just a picture so far. So yeah, so 85% of people wander around through life doing everything in their power to avoid failing at anything, to avoid at all costs hearing the word no. So if you're doing that, you can't get anywhere. If you think that your success hinges on the fact that you need to learn more or something else, or you don't know enough information or anything like that, you need to look at what you're doing, how much of it you're doing, and how much are you trying to avoid hearing the word no and failing, and failing in anything that you're doing. You need to embrace that. The next thing that we talked about was 10%. From there, 80% of the people do, just do everything in their power to avoid hearing no and failing. And there's John right there, avoiding the failure. Good morning.
Good morning, Paul. I see you're on location. I'm actually in my car as well, out and about today, but still able to make the hangout, even if it was 2 minutes, 3 minutes late because of technical difficulties I was having. But I heard you getting into what we were talking about on the Street Smart Success call this morning with our fantastic, wonderful mentor, Jeff Fagan. And why don't you continue with what you were thinking before my beautiful face threw you off?
Boy, does that ever throw me off. So, anyway, yeah. So after that, after the first 80 to 85% of people who will do everything in the power to avoid failure and hearing no, next you have the next 10% of people. I mean, these are just round, just these aren't exact numbers, okay? So don't hold me to any figures here. I'm just saying approximately, the next 10% of people, will do just enough to get by, as far as the fact that they understand that they have to do so many things that they're going to hear so many no's from, in order to get just enough yeses that they're going to be able to make that paycheck that pays the bills, that puts the food on the table. And as long as I can just get through just enough of those no's and just enough of that failure to get just enough of those yeses to be able to do just that, then I'm going to be okay. And these are the people that are, just surviving this planet. They're not going anywhere. The next 5%, and this is where you start getting into the people who are seeing some success in their life, some success in business, some success in the way that they live and enjoy life. And these are the people that, understand that, what, yeah, I could be out there just failing just enough to get my bills paid, or I can get out here and I can really fail and I can just pound failure and I can go out there and look for it, and I can get out there and know that if I fail 100 times, I've got one. I score once, and so if I fail 200 times, I can score twice, and if I can fail 300 times, I can score 3 times. And so they're out there doing it because they know that the more times that they fail and hear the word no, the closer they get to a yes and a success. And these people will have success in their life because um, I like to use the word embrace. They embrace the failure. They just know that, hey, all I got to do is get out there and just do it. And yes, I'm gonna run up against opposition. I'm gonna run up against resistance. People aren't gonna want what I have. People are gonna shoot down what I have. People are gonna have negative attitudes about what I have. People are gonna flat out put me down, call me stupid, and all kinds of things. But I don't care because I know that done with them, on to the next one. And if I get through enough of those people, I'll get to the right people that I need to get to. So those people have some success in this world. Next, we're talking about another, maybe of that last 5% there, maybe, most of them get to the point of understanding that, hey, if I really want success, now I got to fail big. And that's what I was talking about. I kind of jumped the gun there, but that's what I'm talking about. The guy who says, you know what, I know if I can get out here and for every 10, 15, 20 people that I talk to, I could get one person on board. And if I can do that once a day for the whole week, I get 5 people. Hey, I'm doing very, very well. But the guy who realizes he can take that and go huge and now say yes, if I go talk to 100 people today and I can get 5 people on board, now I'm failing bigger. Or you know what? Better yet, if I can go, instead of talking to 5 people who are going to buy my $5 product, if I can talk to, if I can get 5 people that are going to buy my $100 product, then I'm doing even better. So the people who understand that failing bigger and failing faster, these are the people who really achieve grand success. And then the final group, the one percenters, these are the people who realize that, okay, now that I understand that I need to fail a lot in order to have success, and I need to fail bigger, and I need to fail faster in order to have really big success. Now, if I can get more people on board with my team also failing alongside me bigger and faster, we can build an organization that can really create, huge benefit and wealth. And that's, that's the level 10 person that we're all trying to become and achieve. Is the person who can understand, embrace the failure. Good. We'll get out there and we'll fail bigger and faster, and then we'll figure out how to leverage the efforts of others to get them, into their organization, who can also, fail big and fast right alongside of them and really just explode your business. So with all that said, John, that's what the first part of what we talked about this morning. I'm going to kick it back to you, and let's get your thoughts on this thing.
The bottom line is, as Paul said about failing big, failing fast, embracing failure, the bottom line is everybody at one point in their life, and even people that are level 10, one of the biggest fears that people have in life is failure. But it's those people that get over that fear of failure, learn to embrace failure, learn from their failures, and in this case, use it as fuel. There is nothing you can't do if you're willing to fail big and fail fast. And and learn to change it around. I like to think of it this way: if I'm introducing Swiss Global or other businesses that I'm involved in, I don't actually look at hearing no or getting rejections from people as a failure. Really, it's par for the course. And you can actually learn how better to convert people into a yes. But initially, there's a lot of fear about opening your mouth and talking about the Swiss Global product or whatever business you're in. And if you can't get over that fear of failure, you just will never be successful if you let that rule you and dictate your actions. And as Paul said, and it might sound funny to a lot of people, is you want to fail big and fail fast. And if you really want to be successful, you want to invite people to fail big and fail fast with you. And that does sound kind of funny, but it makes a whole lot of sense, because you've got to get out there, you've got to get over the fear, and you just got to look at the fact that, hey, some people are going to reject my opportunity. Some people are going to say no. Some people are going to be nice about their no's. Some people are going to be rude about their no's. But hey, all right, I failed to get this person in my organization, but hey, it could have been a yes, but the next person I talk to may very well say yes. And hey, they say the most successful people have heard more no's than yeses and have failed more times than people who have little success. So that is my thoughts on all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Failure and no is what leads you to success. Avoidance of failure and no is what leads you to failure and no. Okay. Next, obviously we're carrying on with the 7 steps, and we're talking about duplication this morning. Still working on duplication a little bit. So basically, what we're talking about is now you've got your product, you've got your business, you've got everything you have in line, and this goes along with what we just talked about. With inviting other people to fail big and fast with you is part of your duplication process here. So you've got your product and your service, and you're excited, you believe in it. It's a timely product that I think I missed one step. No, it's a timely product, and and you've got your system. Okay, Jeff, for example, used this morning. You routinely go out to a network marketing event, and you routinely make sure that you talk to X amount of people, and out of that, you follow up with every one of them, and generally that will reap for you X amount of results. So you have this system that you repeat continually, and it works for you. And each time you apply your system, it works, and you pretty much get, maybe not the exact same, but at least very similar results each and every time you apply your system. So now what you need to do is 2 things. Number 1 is you need to be consistently working your system. So, okay, great, you found a system, you've been out there, you did it, but now if you're not out there doing it regularly, guess what? It ain't working for you. So you got to consistently work your system. And then the second thing you need to do is what we talked about, the duplication here, is now you need to leverage the efforts of others, and you have to teach them how to do your system. So whatever your system is, now you need to invite people to come along with you, invite people to come fail with you, invite people to come fail bigger and faster with you, and you will teach them how to work your system so that they can do that, so that they can be right there alongside you, learning, failing and all that, right alongside you. And the thing is the more people that you bring in, the more people that you bring in and you teach how to work your system, eventually this big organization and this big system that you've created eventually gets so large that now you don't have to do anything. The system does all the work for you. And this is when you reach the point in time where you get the chance to sit back and, realize that you've achieved the dream that we're all after. And that's really when you wake up in the morning and you have the freedom of choice to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, without having to, count on anybody or anyone else for money or income. So that's what it all comes down to as far as duplication goes. And in fact, I'm going to throw a quick little thing out there. I know a guy from another network marketing organization, and he has a little system that he works. And I see him working it all the time, at least a couple times a week. I don't know exactly what days he shows up or everything, but I randomly run into him at the Starbucks. Part of his system is to at least, I would guess, at least 2 or 3 times a week, he goes over to a specific Starbucks, and he makes his phone calls, he talks up, he follows up with some people from whatever else he's doing. But while he's there, he's looking for people at the Starbucks that are coming in, ordering their coffees, that look like they might be a sharp candidate for his network marketing organization. And he's got a little approach that he throws out at them, and starts up a conversation with these people. And that's part of his system. So that's just one little thing that somebody can do. So with that, I'm going to throw it back to John to give us some words here.
Yeah, I want to just throw in that the system is the keystone to this. If you do not have a system, you don't have anything. You need to have that process that you know that if you do A, B, and C, that D is going to be your result. Without a system, you have nothing. So you need to just maybe go out, and while you're developing your own way of doing it that resonates your personality, you need to go out and of other systems until you find one that resonates with you, and then you need to study it, learn it, practice it, learn it by putting it into action, and if you fail and it's not working for you, then you correct and you continue. The system is everything, and you need to have one in order to be successful in this business, or really quite any business. And I want to throw in something about James. That's the guy that Paul had brought up. I see the same guy too at Starbucks as well. There's a particular Starbucks that I go to a couple. I haven't been lately. My system has kind of changed, and I don't include the Starbucks in my daily routine. But there was a couple months there where I was going into Starbucks several times a week, and I would run into this guy James there, who had a fantastic system for recruiting or sponsoring people into his network marketing business. He had an approach. He would talk to random people and had a little pitch. And part of his system was when he was at Starbucks, he always looked really important. The guy was always on the phone, and he always was dressed real well, and he was just absolutely friendly and conversational with everybody. And in conversation with him, he always shows up to Starbucks with two things: his book. Oh, it looks like we lost Paul there. Okay. He always shows up to Starbucks with a book that he's reading, always like a self-development success book. His cell phone. While he's at the Starbucks, he is following up over the phone with some of his prospects, and then making conversation with people and getting their contact information to follow up with them with another day. And I heard him on the phone, and he would do just a simple little 1-minute phone call, very similar to the phone calls that we are taught to do with Jeff
John,
Fagan.
John, just want to interrupt real quick. My battery on my computer is about to die, so go ahead and close this thing out. You're on your own, all right?
Yep, you got it. Okay, well, with that being said, I see we're at 8:20. I won't have time to get into what that 1-minute phone call is. I was talking about James Paul and kind of what I overhear him doing on the phone and explaining his little system. And in fact, we are probably hoping to invite him to a future hangout to kind of explain his system as well. But the key points of today is that if you have a fear of failure, which most everybody does, You need to get over your fear of failure, embrace it, go out there and fail big and fail fast. And by that, I mean talk to as many people as you can and get through those no's and get some people recruited and sponsored into your organization. And the second point we made today is that you need to have a system that you do and repeat, and it brings the result, the desired result. So you need to fail big, fail fast, and you need to have a system, people. With that, Paul, should I just get us into the prayer and head out?
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm still here and this computer battery hasn't died already.
Well, as we say at the end of each hangout, each training, each morning is, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth through the power to direct and control my own mind to whatever ends I may desire." All right, have a great weekend. Thanks for dealing with us. We're out on the road. Might have been a little shaky, but everybody, thanks for being here on this hangout, and we'll be back on Monday.